Alright, what's good, Boxing World? We out here at Jalil Hackett's gym. I'm right here, right now, exclusive with Bernard Hackett. Hey, man, I gotta ask you, man. Did you see? Man, I sent it to you. You already saw it. Your thoughts, man, on that Fred Barbershop conversations bullshit.
Man, something wrong with that dude, man. Something is truly wrong with him. I've never seen anybody pour for attention that much. Everything that he think will bring him attention, he just jumps out there and says. I just have never seen it. I mean, like 1 minute he on this fight, next minute he on Top Rank, then he on Al Haymon, then he on Mayweather Promotions. He's hit rock bottom. So now I guess he's turned his sights towards my son. You know, um, I've just never seen anything like it, man. He's just a weird guy.
Especially with the falsified information.
I mean, nothing he said had any accuracy or relevance to it. And when you think about it, how easily it's disingenuous. That's what you call it. It's disingenuous. If somebody is trying to tell you something that could be beneficial for you or beneficial to one of your kids, I think I'm probably one of the easiest people to find phone numbers. I'm one of the easiest people to get in touch with. But he don't do that. That's what men do. Men say, hey man, let me give you a call and tell you my thoughts. That's what men do. That's not what he's doing. I don't know what it is about the dude, man. I mean, he like the kid that go to the playground with a basketball, knowing nobody wants to play with him. And he'll just stand in the middle of the court and dribble his ball until everybody leaves. And then he thinks, I made y'all leave, look at my power. No, we just don't want to play with you. I mean, I just never saw nothing that's weird. You know, my son, 19 years old, just turned 19. He don't do nothing. Play video games, train, do his thing. And every time...
Still at home. Because that's the part that killed me with that. He's like, act like Jalil out on the streets or something, like need money.
You've been to my house.
Yeah.
I don't brag on nothing, but do it look like we struggling for
not at all.
Yeah, we don't do flashy braggadocious shit. But I got several cars sitting in front of my house. Good shit. People want to drive.
100 on that.
I mean, I just got rid of my last bike. I'm driving this Ducati, you know, so it ain't like we starving. But even if we were starving, when did he become a carer of Jalil Hackett? Jalil been boxing since he was about 6 years old. I ain't never heard of this guy mention his name until Jalil got with Mayweather Promotions. He got it so bad for Mayweather Promotions, Leonard Ellaby, you know, Al Haymon, Barber. He got it so bad for these guys that he gotta find a way to interject himself into anything that's going on. I've just never seen anything like it. It's like, I mean, I honestly want to almost call him and say, do you need a hug? Do you need somebody to show you love and affection and let you know it's not that bad, it'll be okay? Because he act like an abused child that just can't get over whatever happened to him as a kid.
Yeah, they always talking about them credentials, all the credentials. If you said you're not worried about the credentials, why you bring it up all the time?
And if you got so much going on and you got so many things to do, how do you make time to be an irritant? It's not like he's spewing anything about knowledge. He's just being an irritant. And at a certain point, you got to remember, I'll never be the person to say anything about somebody's kids. Now, we can talk about boxing, we can talk about basketball, football, we can talk about life, we can talk about anything. But at some point, Fred, men draw the line at messing with people's kids. Maybe somebody needs to tell him that. Because his friend circle obviously don't tell him that. This is my son. He don't bother nobody. He just want to box and do his thing. Fred tried to give his opinion on shit he knows nothing about. Nothing.
Totally false information he put out there, man.
Man,
Man, Jalil don't been on Floyd card, Tank card, NDC fighting. So what is he talking about?
yeah. And my thing is this. Please tell me where you get your information from of what he has gotten and has not gotten from Floyd Mayweather, Mayweather Promotion, Leonard Ellerby. Please, where do you get your information? Because whoever's giving it to you is giving you inaccurate information. These people didn't, oh, we gonna do all this stuff, and once we do all this stuff, he gotta sign with us or whatever. You've been messing with me for a long time, Zay. How long you been
Man,
seeing
before
my
even
son?
Jalil signed with Mayweather, they was
Before he even talked about going pro, they were already doing stuff with my son. They were already interacting with him.
what was that? 2 years prior to him, you know what I'm
Thank
saying?
you. He was at.
Because what was the
he at
thing Leonard said?
Heights.
What was the thing Leonard said?
Man, he got to
Graduate.
first. Jalil wanted to. The first thing Leonard said was, "Hey, you graduated from high school." He was like, "Nah, but I'm gonna graduate. I'm smart," which everybody knows Jalil's.
He graduated early.
Yeah, he graduated early. But he was like, as a father, I'm telling you, graduate. And then when it was like, well, we want to do our thing, he tells Floyd say, the kid ain't graduated. Graduate high school first. You got your whole life ahead of you. Don't rush to be a pro. Do this sound like somebody's trying to rob you? And once again, the man says stupid shit. What does Floyd have to do to rob Jalil, who don't got nothing? I mean, so this man who got $1 billion lifestyle and doing $1 billion stuff is running around major cities looking for a kid in high school to rob. And once again, where's the background for this? Where's the history of Floyd
Doing that.
He's robbing people. I mean, my thing is, you can have any issue with any man, but keep it truthful. Tell me how many people out here helping young black fighters get their opportunity. How many?
Slim to none.
Floyd giving kids opportunity. Leonard giving kids opportunity. Al Heyman giving kids opportunity. That where do we go? If we don't go those routes, where do we go to get these opportunities? Where do we go? I love for him to say, he says he's doing so well in life. Let's try this. Because he likes to mock different fields and say what's going wrong. How about he takes some of his millions and he start a promotion company and he goes sign some fighters and let's see him do them the way he thinks it should be done. And then 5 years after, tell me where you are.
Facts.
Do that. I just never saw a person in such need to play on everybody's playground. Doesn't matter who it is. He wants the party crash, but you're not crashing the party. They don't want you at the party. I would never fix my lips to talk about the man's kids, any man's kids, because I know you ain't talking about mine. And he hides not just behind his own version of anonymity. He hides behind his camera and does this stuff. When he in front of you, he won't pull out his camera. Man, whatever y'all do, I'm prepared. It's gonna be on tape. Like, what men do this? What men really do the stuff that he does? It's ridiculous. I don't know the guy in New York that I be seeing on social media be hugging all the New York rappers and all that shit. What's that guy's name, man? The one that be hugging all the rappers in New York and be fucking with people all the time. I can't think it's the big heavyset dude that be, give me a hug.
Oh yeah, I can't remember.
I can't even remember
If
his name.
he knows who I am or watches this, ain't his name Flips? Something Flips.
Something.
Yeah. Please go to California, find Barbershop Fred or Fred Conversation, Fred Hawthorne, and give him a hug, because he needs a hug. He needs a hug. He's looking for plugs. And maybe if people do that, he'll stop what he's doing. I'm gonna take a page out of Jay-Z book. When Jay-Z was like, Jazzo, album in stores now, Jazzo. Fred Hawthorne, Barbershop Conversation, in stores now, new episodes, please go check it out. Maybe that will make him stop acting like an asshole. I mean, you can have a person that got some good things to impart to you, but their delivery so fucked up you don't want it. Man, you gonna jump off a cliff. I'd rather jump off the cliff than die than let you be the one to save me and you run around the universe for the rest of my life saying, remember when I saved you? Remember when I saved you? My son where he wanna be. My son is where he wants to be. Say if you've heard conversations before he signed with other people, I don't say their names.
Yep.
Shorty turned down stuff because
Turned it down.
I want to be. He wants to be there. If you go look, my son got pictures with Floyd when he was a kid. Was Floyd coaching or no? But he was taking interest in kids, so he'll see you, give pointers. His father and his uncle Roger, rest his soul, doing mitts with kids. Them people trying to advance somebody, and this dude is trying to find ways to tear something down. Why can't you be opposite and uplift something? Once again, how many black promoters do we have that are doing what they're doing for black fighters?
I don't understand because he going at everything black.
Once again, I don't even say he dislikes black people. Too easy. Was he abused as a kid? Because he shows all the signs of PTSD. Because every time he see a black man that he think is being successful and he feels like owes him something for his past, maybe he was abused as a kid. I don't know. Maybe something happened traumatic in his life, and now he's trying to find whatever direction he can find to reclaim his masculinity or whatever. Because I never seen anything like this. Nobody does this. Out of the clear blue. Jalil Hackett, I told you this would happen. Told me what would happen. What are you telling me?
Exactly, man.
Tell me.
He knows nothing. He don't know how Lennox call and check on him, Floyd call and check on him on a regular basis.
He don't know what Jalil has made in a fight. He don't know what he's been given or sent. I don't gotta tell Fred.
Exactly.
You've been with me.
Yeah.
Is what he's saying a fact?
Hell no.
I wouldn't disclose what my son makes because that's not my
Their
position
business?
or their business. But I bet you he making more than people at his age, his position, even with other people. Sure to get more money. My son just not. He not the braggadocious dude.
No, he.
Don't care. None of that makes a big deal to him. If you know my son, he didn't hang with the cool kids in school. He had his own group of friends. Most of them was nerds. If you know Jalil was a nerd in school. He knew people knew he boxed. Shawty was into education. His brother into the arts. His brother went to Duke Ellington. Robert.
If anybody know Duke Ellington, that's.
He's into the arts. Man, let me tell you something. I wanted my kids to have something that a lot of other kids don't have. A real foundation to home from. Me and my wife raised our kids. Me and Jalil's mom, she's been, part of his life and his growth. His mother saw what he wanted to do. She didn't stand in the way. She didn't hold him up. She was like, hey, y'all gonna do y'all thing. Let him get on his path. We don't have I'm sorry, Fred. We don't have the background bad story that, his mother on drugs. We had to rescue him from the group home. He an ex-felon trying to get his life together. We don't have that.
It was a last-ditch effort. We had to sign with Mayweather. No, it wasn't none of that, man. None of that.
School kid. If my son did not box,
He'd be in college.
With
a scholarship.
Yes. This is him. So the biggest thing that makes this stuff really irritating is that you have other guys who run podcasts or whatever sports, boxing medias that actually support his foolishness. They'll pick one soundbite out, they'll repost it, and they make that a big thing. Anything that my son has said or did or whatever, he's a kid expressing what he was told. How many young people out here, you tell them to do one thing, they do the total opposite. I tell my son to do something, he does it because he's still my son. Hey, champ, my son still live at home. Ain't in no rush to get out, and we're in no rush to put him out. We got a very nice home. He don't have to hurry up and go nowhere. He don't have to find somewhere to get to. Hurry up and get 18 so you can move out. He don't have to do none of that. If my son's career is a complete and utter failure, He's still my son. We failed together. I don't care. If his career is a complete and utter success, then we succeeded together. That's still my son. And you had no bearing on whether it succeeded or failed. The biggest things that you see anybody do when somebody gets an opportunity, especially in our community, Black, it's not congratulate them for working hard to get the opportunity. It's how can you tear them down. And that's ridiculous. This half of the stuff that go on with this boxing and with this boxing media foolishness, it's not. I'm gonna stop saying boxing media because media denotes that you're part of the news. Boxing tabloids.
YouTube. Tabloid.
It's like the Inquirer. Remember back in the
Yeah. I don't even know if it's still around.
Inquirer,
But they made a ton of money, though.
UFO lands on top of the White House and takes the president. That's the type of stuff. He one step away from that. And it's so sad that not enough people speak up about his foolishness. If more people spoke up about his foolishness, he would eventually go away once again because people would say, what you're doing is wrong. Man, my son chose to be with Mayweather Promotions after they made him an offer because that's where he wanted to be. He wanted to be there. If it goes completely wrong, he's fine with it. Fred not going to lose one day of sleep. He's not going to miss one meal. He's not going to miss 1 second of whatever he does all day. He's not going to miss it if my son doesn't succeed. And my son is not going to miss any of that stuff if he succeeds. It don't, I mean, the dude is just a weirdo, man. You, a failed politician. So that didn't work, so let me go find something else. Gets into the boxing with his barbershop conversation. Irritates the hell out of people, so that doesn't work. Then he turns to making movies. He wants to make a movie about Elijah Muhammad. That ain't work. So now it's like, what do you just keep throwing darts at a dartboard until you come up with something
To a stick.
Yes. The key to success, Fred, let me tell you, the key to success is your own personal happiness. Not chasing everybody else's thing. You can't get in somebody else's dream because that's your nightmare. That's all that is. So stop trying to be on everything. And let's try this. All the hours you give to irritating and messing with other people that you think you know, try spending that time with your kids, Jay. I'm sure they'll love it. You might actually be a pretty good dad. I don't know. But I bet you they would love that 4 or 5 hours a day that you give to getting in everybody else's business. They would love that 4 or 5 hours a day given to them. I swear, I think you're talking about one of your kids was a soccer player. He might become a great soccer player. And guess what? I would never hate on your kid. Because at the end of the day, it's a young Black man that's trying to do something. And you might, on purpose or accidentally, be a great dad that helps get your kid there. When you become the dad of that kid, and then you understand why myself and I'm sure other fathers and coaches feel the way they do, because let me tell you something. Most of these coaches had these kids before they could throw a punch. When you didn't care about them.
Yep.
When you didn't know. Do you know that before Tank could throw a punch, Calvin and Kenny cared about him? They know Javante Davis and care about Javante Davis, regardless of if he ever becomes Tank. Fred cares about Tank because it gets him ratings. You gotta have some reality to it. Earl Spence, multi-millionaire. Terrence Crawford, multi-millionaire. Talk about the fight that we would all love to see. Stop talking about their personal. Fred, what if you're not a manager? You don't have this insight. You mean to tell me Fred has a person inside him? So he got a person in Top Rank, I got a person in PBC, I got a person in Mayweather Promotion that tells you all this stuff. He said Leonard Ellaby only makes his money off hustling tickets. He a bad ticket hustling motherfucker then. I'm sorry, Chan. If Leonard Ellaby hears this and he makes his money off hustling tickets, if you ever want to quit that job, let me hustle tickets. Because you're a bad ticket hustling motherfucker if that's the case. A bad ticket hustling joker. he's been fired by Floyd 4 or 5 times. If true or not true, what does that have to do with you? What does that have to do with anything related to the sport? I give you one. I think the Redskins fired Vinny Serrato years ago, and then they rehired him. How many people worked at a company that they got fired from, or they left and went back to work for the company?
I've seen it plenty of times.
So, what relevance did that have to anything?
Just to sensationalize the story.
Right. He says, well, Al don't run PBC and Sam or Floyd, Espinoza runs that. Espinoza with a network. If a network and a promotion company work together, they both have a say in what's going on. So what is he talking? See, he's saying stuff that just doesn't have any relevancy to what goes on. It's 32 NFL teams, right? If I'm not mistaken, it's 32 NFL teams. They play on at least 3 or 4 different channels. So do the channels own it, or do the owners own it? Because at the end of the day, they both billionaires.
Facts.
So you got he named this show The Right Thing, Barbershop Conversation, because he having arguments amongst broke niggas about rich nigga problems who don't even know you arguing about. He named this show the perfect Barbershop Conversation. You know how many times you get 2 dudes damn near go to blows in the barbershop because one said, man, LeBron James made 30 million. Other nigga said, no, he didn't. He made 60 million. And they willing to fight each other about what LeBron James made. But guess what? LeBron don't even know they fighting in the barbershop, and neither one of them know what LeBron James actually made.
Or the conversation barbershop about Michael Jordan, funding prisons and stuff. And that's the wrong Michael Jordan.
And guess what? What's so crazy? If you really look at it, I think I was watching Chad Ochocinco on somebody's podcast, and Chad said, look up my net worth and tell me what it said. Chad, the dude looked up, he said like 5 million. Chad said, hold on. Showed him his phone with his bank account. He says, a lot more millions in there. You walk around with that? He was like, so once again, how do you know what my net worth is? How do you know? And because every conversation with him goes back to your financial premises, that tells me as a man, he rates your greatness or your manhood on what your pocket says. I think I was a great man in any room. Whether I got more money than them dudes in that room or less money than them, that don't. I make my money. My money doesn't make me. Mm-hmm. So in any room, I walked in as a man by myself. I walked out as a man by myself. My son, I teach him to do that. When you walk into a room, champ, why is your head down? Because your pockets ain't their size. What does that denote about anything? I come to the gym and help young people. I'm not trying to be the millionaire. I'm not trying to be. I want to help young people. I don't hate on young people.
I gotta ask you this, Bernard, though. How irritating is this that you gotta even talk about this fight week for Jalil, man?
It doesn't even make sense. When I saw it, I was like,
you preparing for a fight and you got to see this bull.
Listen to this clown. And then I'm gonna tell you what irritated me the worst. He knows so much, but his dumbass spelled Jalil's name wrong. But his dumbass spelled his name wrong, but he knows so goddamn much. At least give me the bottom level of spelling my son's name right. Jalil, Major, Major.
Then he had him from Baltimore. In another video, he had him from Baltimore. I was like, what the hell?
This dude just throws shit out there and just hope it catches on to something. And so many.
And I'm surprised with somebody who used to work for a newspaper who's supposed to do their due diligence but didn't.
Don't call it tabloid. Was he in the Metro section? Or was he in the funny pages? Or he on the back pages? I mean, you can work for a newspaper and they do have tabloid sections in a major newspaper. Gossip columnist, that's what they call him. He could have worked there as a gossip columnist. But as far as attacking people, kids, Fred, don't attack nobody, kid, bro. I'm trying to impart some knowledge on you. Real men do not attack people's kids. My son is 18. If you were comparing yourself to Leonard Ellaby, Sam Watson, Floyd, Dirk Curry, any of them people, guess what you would have did? You'd have picked up the phone and tried to reach out to somebody with their number. I definitely would have respected that more, even if I didn't want to talk to you. Because you did what men do. When men have problems with men, before they run to the internet, they go to the man. That's what men do. And I'm not going to attack Fred. I'm not going to attack him. I'm going to give him knowledge, because somewhere along the lines, nobody has told him what men do. Maybe he was brought up in a home where his father wasn't there. I don't know. Maybe he had a great mother who raised him as best she can, but she couldn't teach him how to be a man, and maybe that's the reason why so much of his unmasculine side just portrays itself through his conversations. Because he might didn't have that. So instead of everybody attacking him, how about we start saying, Fred, this is what men do. He might accidentally become a man. He may accidentally develop masculine ways and stop doing stuff that you should not be doing. It doesn't make sense. My son did interviews with Dante Boxing Nation. He done did interviews with Michelle Joy Phelps. Respect that woman 100%. He's done Fight Hype. He's done ES News. All of those guys are really trying to focus on the sport of boxing, not the tabloid of boxing. If he concentrate on that, he might actually get somewhere. But what he doing is clownish. It's really clownish. Like I said, you should be embarrassed to attack somebody who's trying to give young fighters an opportunity. He should really, okay, he said, this one got killed me with this one. What you should do is go to Southern California. In the bag, get it out. And when you in Southern California, come up the hard road and do all this. Ask every fighter in Southern California who's coming up the ranks the hard way. Shout out to them dudes too. If they had the opportunity to sign with Mayweather Promotions, PBC, Top Rank, any of them, would they take it? They would tell you yes.
Yes, in a heartbeat.
The goal is to get to the finish line as quick as you can, the best way you can, without a lot of damage. When a lot of those fighters who do make it to the top come the hardest direction, they've taken a lot of what they call gym wars for that. I got a man saying, hey Slim, you don't have to have gym wars. We'll direct you the right way. And when you gotta do what you gotta do, you gotta show out. You gotta show out. Fred, for your
I'm gonna put you in that opportunity, and you gotta do it.
Yeah, Fred, because you always talk to, we found the 28. Fred, you sound like a crazy man, because if you ask every Latino fighter, would he like to fight on Canelo Alvarez card? Every single one of them say yeah. If you ask every black fighter, would they want to fight on Canelo Alvarez card? Every one of them say yeah. If you ask black fighter, if you want to fight on Gervonta Davis card, Floyd Mayweather card, Terrence Crawford card, Earl Spence card, they're all gonna say yeah. So what you said sounded dumb as shit when you said, well, I can bet that he's only fought on tank cards, which ain't true. But even if it was, you're starting your career on pay-per-view. You're starting your career. Who doesn't want to start their career like that? You get to see what this game is like at the top of the game. It's like, want to say something. This is how stupid what he's saying. You're an actor. You get a call from Denzel Washington, however it happens. Denzel want to put you in his movie, but he's only going to have you as an extra in this scene. But he's guaranteeing you his next 3 movies, he'll get you in those scenes and roles. And you tell him the difference. Hey, I'm gonna spread one of the Fred lies. Fred cut us off. He had a plug in YouTube that cut us off. He tells so many of them. I mean, it's unreal. Like I said,
he need a hug.
Bruh, look, the man needs somebody. Stop, y'all. Look, stop hating this man. Please, somebody. If you see him in the street, every person that see him, every boxer, every trainer, every promoter, when you see him walking down the street, just reach out and hug him.
Call Dr. Phil.
Reach out and hug him because he needs love. Maybe if enough people show him love, he'll stop going to the basketball court and stand in the middle of the court and say, y'all gonna let me play. I mean, the man is a weirdo, but it doesn't make sense. Like I said, man, this is outrageous.
Man, I hate the fact that you even got to address this on fight week, man. Jalil back there getting ready.
Man, Jalil back there laid across the floor, just finished training. He laugh at stuff like this. This stuff is comical. But I never saw a acts like him. Please tell me who else acts like him.
I can't even really.
Nobody acts like this dude. And like I said, my son chose to be you was there. I said, Jalil, I can't make the decision the way you spend the next 5 years or whatever of your career. Jalil said, I don't want to spend 5 years there. I want to develop something that can take me past there. That's what he wants to do. My son living his best life. How many of us can go back and say at 18 years old, at 16 years old, we were living the life that we wanted? He in the world of boxing. When he was 16, everything was boxing to be a world champion. We know at some point along the line, we as adults wanted to turn into your financial gratification, but for him, he wanted to be a champion. That's what he wanted to be. He was somebody that knows how many champions has Floyd made. This weekend we having a fight, right?
Yep.
Probably one of the biggest pay-per-view fights that's gonna happen, right?
In a long time.
Tank Davis is a world champion multiple times, right?
Correct.
Was he a world champion before he got with Mayweather?
No.
So at some point, you gotta just be apples to apples. Floyd made him a champion. Rolly Romero, a champion. Before he got with Floyd, or at any point, was he a champion?
No.
He's been with him his whole career. He got his career, got him there. Look at what he did. I looked at Rolly's career one day, and I was shocked. Rolly did 4, 6, 8. And the next thing you know, he had an opportunity to fight for a belt. He still has not fought a 10-round fight.
To this day?
When he did fight?
Yeah,
once
that's true.
again,
Yep,
4,
yep.
6,
6,
8. Got an opportunity to fight for a title. And he's been in 12-round fights. So where's his 10-round? Like I said, Floyd had something to do with that. That TMT team, the money team had something to do with that. Jalil Love had a great career. Jalil Love now is doing this thing as a coach. Other fighters there are doing their thing as fighters. Jalil ain't the only young fighter they got. Mickey Scholar doing good as a pro. Dorian Khan doing good as a pro. I mean, how about we just stop the tear down? Like Fred, if you go report news, but stop reporting tabloids. Everybody's story is different. My grandmother used to say, everybody is an angel in somebody's story and the devil in somebody else's. Same person, two different sides. I can't say what another person's situation dealing with them is, was, or will be. I can only be concerned about my situation with my son, what it is, was, and could be. That's it. He a young fighter coming up. What he supposed to be in the main event by now? I'm trying to find out if Fred thinks he should have been the main event by now.
At 19 years old.
What's he fighting? Once again, he should be the main event. I mean, shout out to the ones who was able to do it, but ain't too many Lomachenkos running loose out here that have 1 or 2 fights and they the main event guy. But my issue one. Fred's narratives forward. You encourage him to be what he is. You allow him to think what he's doing is okay. And it's not okay. Like I said, you got great people doing great interviews with fighters of every level. Why do you have to stoop to the low points? Like I said, Dante Boxing Nation did an interview with him before he turned pro. It was great. Michelle Joy Phelps, when we was at Tank's fight, she did an interview with him. What was that? I can't remember which way it was for that fight. She interviewed him. Ellie Setback, always show him love. Fight Hype, always show him love. And they talk about boxing. Let me be the first to tell you, if my son fight and lose, and somebody wants to ask him about the fight, and it's a boxing interview, do it. But Fred, the type of dude that be, I told y'all this was going. That's his foolishness. Don't nobody got time for that, man. And like I said, I give kudos to where my son is. Mayweather Promotions is doing a great job with my son. Shorty happy with the situation. He's living good. And he said, remember they said he can't talk to me? Let me tell you what a good kid is, Fred. Maybe you don't know. When a kid has a team around him, and that team gives him advice for what's best for him, and he follows it, that's what good kids do. Maybe he doesn't know that good kids follow the advice of their team. wherever that advice, because that's what's the betterment of you in their heart. Not this fool who bring fighters on, get fighters to air their personal laundry, knowing that those fighters got to go back and deal with the people that
with these people.
laundry
Exactly.
about.
Exactly.
That's reality.
Setting them up to fail.
Yeah, but he's comfortable with it because
his
he got
ratings.
50,000 views. Oh man, did you see that interview? Man, you got to check it out. And then what? Once again, man, I'm so happy Tank is leaving. Tank made his decision. He let the world know. Congratulations to Tank. But did you also see when Tank was like, I'm ready to be my own man. I spread my wings. He didn't say he had a problem working with Mayweather.
No, exactly.
He said the direct opposite. Once again, Fred, don't talk about that. Man, it's just crazy. Like I said, Floyd got a lot of things going on. Leonard got a lot of things going on. But they could easily, just think of how easy it would be for Floyd to just go sign some already established stars and just say, I'm a buy the top guys. He got the money to do it. I ain't seen no top guy saying I'm ready to turn down $50 million. But the man said, I want to build somebody. I want to actually put the foot and leg work in to build a guy from the ground. And then when he did it, I like this shit. Let me build some more of them. I'm fortunate enough that my son caught the eye to where he's one of the ones.
See, one of the things Fred don't know, Floyd has a vested interest in Jalil, man.
And all of his young fighters, this man actually give a damn. He give a damn. Leonard Ellerbe is the president, CEO of Mayweather Promotions. I think you should be happy that the CEO is calling and checking on you. How many people at their job get a call from the president or CEO of the company they work for saying, hey, I'm checking on you. You good? You all right? Not many. Not many people get that. You know, so instead of trying to give all this energy to hating on somebody, give the energy to congratulating what somebody did. Let me tell you something. Leonard Ellerbe, Floyd Mayweather, say what you want to say, them dudes self-made millionaires and billionaires. Floyd ain't coming to $50 million when he was a kid that got left to him from a trust fund. This man got it from the dirt. I remember reading, watching an old video where Floyd was like, I think he made $21,000 his debut. As an Olympian, he made $21,000. He said, it got to be more than this. The man got to a certain point in his career, said, I gotta take over for me. The man did what he took a chance that the average fighter ain't gonna take. He took a chance that maybe I, as a dad, knowing what it took to get my son here, tell my son, if he asks me a question, do we take that chance? The man took a chance. He bet on himself and won. Mm-hmm. Stop looking for the down of it and start looking at the glory of it. Start looking at that saying, man, here's a dude that bet on himself and beat the odds. Here's a man that's made money that nobody else may ever see again, but guess what he did show you? That it's possible. I asked a dude the other day, I said, who's the greatest man to ever run a marathon? He said, I don't know. The first man to ever run a marathon. Because he was a trendsetter. He didn't know if I could finish it. He didn't know if it was possible. But once he did it, or she, I'm not sure if a man or woman did the first one, guess what everybody who ran after that knew? It was possible to be done. So every time they run, they got to give them their credit. So every time a boxer eclipses a certain financial milestone in the ring, Floyd made it where he got something bigger to shoot for, because before Floyd did it, no fighter has saw $100 million in a night. No fighter ever saw $100 million in a night. You got a lot of fighters that might have saw $100 million over their career, like Tyson, Holyfield, Ray Leonard, those type of guys. But in a night, in one night, hell, shit, Canelo getting stupid money now. But at a certain point, Floyd had to even make him believe it was possible, because Floyd did it. He's the one that did it. He making it possible. This man keep talking about, I want to show the next generation how it's possible to do. Why would I turn against somebody telling me, let me show your son it's possible to get something he never thought of? If my son make $15 million and his family's life changed and he get a wife and kids and they can make it where their children can do something at the next level, did Floyd help you or hurt you?
Definitely help.
If you look at it like this, if my son fight professional from now until the time he turns, let's just say he turned 30, and he's able to buy a house that's paid for, a car or two that's paid for, invest in a couple of different things, and then retire and have to get a regular job, he could be a postman. He's a winner. He won. I give you one of my favorite fighters that beat the system, and people don't even realize it. Remember the punching postman, Tony Thornton?
Yeah.
He beat the odds. The man was a post office worker, retired, did his, but also fought, I think, for Roy Jones, James Sony, lost both fights, but he also had investments. The man, he won. He won. He had a better life than average. You know, it's like the old saying, you see an old man that's 75 years old bought his first Corvette. I'm happy he bought a Corvette. But can you imagine how he would have felt if he was able to get in a position to buy it at 20? Do you know how much more joy he would have with that Corvette? My son in a situation where he can do that. If he say, Dad, I bought a house, I had a couple of cars, I went on a couple of trips, I'm good, and now I'm ready to walk away. Even if he walk away and say, I want to go to college now, and then I'm going to get into a profession. You know my son a long time. What do Jalil want to do?
Be in the funeral business.
He want to be a mortician.
Mortician.
He want to be in the funeral business. He always said this stuff in school, prior to high school. So if my son say, hey, Dad, I done hit the lick, I done won some fights, I got money, I'm going to go back to school and become a mortician, I'm going to applaud him. I'm going to applaud, because now he's able to do what 99% of black people aren't able to do. What I want to do for my happiness. A millionaire is the person who's doing what they want to do the way they want to do it, not because they got $1 million. It's a lot of millionaires that aren't doing what they want to do the way they want to do it. So that million don't mean nothing to them. You can have $100,000 but living the way you want to and have just enough to make that to live next year, you're a millionaire, champ. You're a winner. Why? Because you're doing it your way. And that's how I raised my son. So when this dude talk this clownery about he gonna get got over on, you can't get got over on if what you came in for, you get. Only person that can get got over on is the person who didn't get what they came in for. He don't know what my son came into this game for. And as my son grow up, what he came in for may change. But only he gotta live with it. Nobody else has to live with his successes or failures but him. So stop being worried about everybody else. Be worried about yourself and keep other people's kids' names out your mouth, because that is not what men do. Other than that, I ain't got nothing else to say about the claim.
Hey, man, I appreciate your time as always. But, man, when I seen that, you know I had to hit you up, man. I said, man, I cannot worry this man with this bullshit today, but, man, I had to get this cleared up. Because I ain't want nobody running with that bull, man.
Yeah. And then, like I said, do what men do, champ. Whether I accept your call or anybody else accept your call, reach out like a man first. Do that. Watch how you get better success than doing what you doing, trying to be a clown.
Hey, man, I appreciate your time as always, but
Man, see you, sir.
Fight night, here on the card, Javante Tank Davis.
Davis versus Rowe.